Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to this week's episode of your business relaxing nominees, perhaps our last episode for the year. Alright, my name is Daniel Olukayode Adeyemo, and it's a pleasure being here again today. We'll be taking it from where we stopped last week on patents, that is, the right enjoyed by inventors of new and useful products. And last week we looked at patent. First of all, we were made to realize that it is mainly given to inventors who are able to come up with useful and new products that would better the lives of people, especially within the Nigerian context. Okay, and we moved on to look at the rationale behind patent protection, how that a person has exerted a level of intellectual, should I say, skill, resources, and all of those things should be recognized. It's almost normal, and the fact that it also encourages inventive activity. When a person that is capable of making something that would make lives better sees someone that does it, and then sees how it gets granted a particular right to patent in this case, and seeing all the benefits that comes with that right, would encourage him to say, you know what, let me to do something, and of course in the case of someone that can actually do something meaningful, and apart from that, also we looked at the fact that it is an important source of technological information, meaning we, towards the end of last week's lesson, we are made to realize that there's something called consideration. There's the place for consideration in the grant of patent. So when it is granted to you, the right for commercial use and all of those things, in return, one of the things, even in the process of applying, is that you need to have a description. All right, there has to be a description of how you came up with that invention, the processes, for the sake of advanced research, to be able to bring about advancement in that technology which you've made, or that invention which you actually created. All right, we moved on. We looked at the requirement for patentability, the tripartite requirement, which according to what we have or what we're taught, should be present in an entirely new invention, or should I say, improved invention. Alright, the newness, the inventive activities, the capability of industrial application, those three major requirements should be present in an entirely new invention, and or whichever way you take it, on an improved patent, that is an improved version of that patent that was already existing, provided that it is not something, by improvement we're not saying, okay, this is an invention, there was no dots before, now we have the dots. What does the dot, what does it do? So it has to be something that makes the experience even much more better than it was already. Alright, so we looked at that, and then we looked at all of these requirements, the inventive activity, the tripartite requirements. We looked at them individually and we broke them down. For the newness, we looked at some of the exceptions to it. For the inventive activity, we looked at the fact that it should not be obvious. All right, it's not something obvious like just a dot or something or whatever. It should not just be obvious. It should be something that's of value. Then we looked at the capability of industrial application and all of that. We looked at inventions that are not patentable, and we looked at two of them. But today we'll be taking a step further and of course we'll be rounding it up in this episode. We'll be looking at registration. Let's start by looking at registration of patent, and let's look at rights to patent first of all. If you followed us from last week, everything we'll say will be quite understandable, will be quite relatable, because you paid attention from the previous session. Now, talking about right to patent, we need to clarify something first of all. Right, when trying to grant patents, one thing that must be ascertained is the ownership. That this person coming, is he the owner? Is she the owner? All right, so that has to be clarified first. And now you might think, okay, that's quite obvious now, but I tell you that it's not usually that obvious. All right, now imagine a situation where two researchers are working on an invention. They are researching, trying to put something together, something they think would better the lives of people. And the two of them, they don't even know each other. They don't know each other from Adam. So probably from different parts of Nigeria, they're working on it. And then they came up with the same solution at different times. So now what will happen? who would get the, what do you call it, who would get the right to patent, who would be granted patents if they approach the registry? Though we have an answer for this anyway. Imagine another scenario where an independent contractor that you brought in to come and do some things for you came up with a new product under your employment. Who owns the patent? Who would own the patent, or who would own the invention in this kind of situation? Or imagine where a person already, let's say an inventor, already registered abroad, and then prior to him registering in Nigeria, someone already registered. So how do we settle that thing? How do we settle it? So for the first one, being the one of the two researchers that don't know each other, there's this doctrine called the doctrine of first to file, right? First to file, like the first person to file for patent will be granted, and that is the general rule for that is the principle behind this one. All right. So the two of them, whoever comes to the registry first to register the patent, gets recognized as the owner of that patent. All right. So and mind, I don't want to skip something. So now, when the person that comes to file first comes, so it is believed that that person is the statutory inventor, right? That is, then in the same vein, that statutory inventor is believed to be the true inventor. All right. So statutory inventor must equal true inventor. That is, the person that comes to file first, that comes to the registry and files first, is regarded as, oh, this is a statutory inventor, but also is regarded as a true inventor, meaning he was the one that actually came up with this, with whatever the invention is. All right. So, but where this is not the case, the inventor, the true inventor, is the one that would be, the patent that they already gave to the statutory inventor will be moved to the true inventor. And I hope this is clear. All right, so well, that is that for that. The other scenario we painted, which is the one involving the independent contractor. So what happens here is that, of course, we know there's a contract. There would have been a contract, right? That that enabled the independent contractor to come on board. So it is believed that the contract should include a clause that would, make everything new that comes out of this employment to be attributable to the company. All right, so that is I would say, and of course, additional rewards should be granted. Since aside from the normal agreed grants, there should be like additional, should I say, rewards for coming up with such invention. Yeah, and then also for the one of the foreign priority, where a person already invented and registered abroad and is coming to register in Nigeria, only for someone to have, should I say, hijacked, depending on what the circumstance is, and then the person comes to register here in Nigeria. So what happens here is that once that person that registered abroad comes into the registry, his own registration will take priority, in the sense that it will be believed that they would assume, or the date when he registered that one abroad would be deemed to be the date, he registered it here in Nigeria. Meaning that person that rushed by, I don't know what could have happened. Maybe he got a tip or something. I don't know what could have happened or what scenario that could be. But then, regardless of the fact that the person already came and registered before that person that registered abroad, the person that registered abroad, once it comes, will take priority over that person that rushed to register. All right. So that's foreign priority. Well, that's how that one works. So speaking on how to apply for patents, last week we looked at it a bit slightly, and well, it's just the way it is. Just like trademark that we looked at many weeks ago, you approach the registrar at the Trademark and Patent Registry, of course under the supervision of the Minister for Investment, Industry and all of that. So trade, industry and investment. So yes, so in making your patent application, what you need to do is to come to the registry, of course, the full name of the applicant. Last week we talked about the need to provide a description of what you're doing, and it has to be clear, such that a person who operates in the same field that you do would see the requirement, the processes, and be able to reproduce what you've done. And of course, we looked at the reason behind it last week.